Okay, this is a 97 Taurus GL with a 3.0 Vulcan engine. It's owned by a friend here. It has developed an oil leak at the bottom. I suspected maybe a rear seal valve gaskets or even the oil pan, but none of those appear to be as blatantly responsible for a significant oil loss. This thing has lost a quart of oil inside of about a week. So I got the impression it might be this oil pressure sending unit, which resides in that hole that you see there at the rear back side of the engine. I just removed it, and I'm going to replace it because it seemed to be faulty to me. This is the old one here, and when I removed it, the housing was open like you see it here, the plastic housing. Not quite as bad because I've since tampered with this thing, and I couldn't have caused that because the socket that I used is a deep socket. It's a 1 1/16 inch socket, and I have it marked as a water heater socket, and that's what it is. It's actually good for taking out an anode rod on a water heater, which is what I bought it for years ago. But it also happens to conveniently fit these pressure sending units. And being a deep well, it's perfect for this job. So that's exactly how I took this out. This thing is oil covered. The only thing I can think is that when the engine is running, that this thing leaks like a sieve, and that's possibly explains why the oil has run down the back of the engine, which it has done, and ended up on the top of the oil pan and then dripped off the screws of the oil pan, which some people would say, oh, you've got an oil pan leak. Well, yeah, if it wasn't all focused in one area, which was just about near the transaxle. So if you have an older vehicle like this one and you have a sudden oil loss, and I mean sudden, like a quart over a short period of time, which hasn't been the history of the car, then you have to suspect something like this. Because once this plastic diaphragm cracks or breaks or whatever, I'm presuming that's what allows the oil to leak out of here, because the rest of it's just a metal body. And these things can leak. Once again, I used a 1 inch and 1/16 deep socket. I actually think maybe you could use a regular depth socket, maybe on the new replacement, but you certainly couldn't get the old one off with that because it's just got too much body on it. This being the original. I actually broke this thing off when I was pulling on it, so it actually comes apart at this point. If I can get it off here. Actually, behind this there's a spring-loaded area here that doesn't appear to have any oil inside. So if the oil is going to come out of here, it's going to come out between the where it seams with the plastic. So again, this information is pretty much good for any vehicle, especially one that is older, as far as why these things fail or why they leak.